Hey guys, today we're making Cornish hen. This is also a great recipe to make for the holiday season. So we're going to make 2 Cornish hens today. We're seasoning with smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, garlic salt, seasoned salt, also using olive oil, and then we'll need bell pepper and also onion. Okay, so what you want to do is after you have your chicken clean and pat it dry with a paper towel, is just dredge them with olive oil and just massage that oil really nicely into your Cornish hens. So just do that with both of them. Make sure that you get the oil covering most of the chicken so it gets a nice crisp brown on the chicken. All right, so after you have that done, you can go ahead and start to apply the seasoning. Okay, so here we are with our garlic salt. We're going to start with seasoning the inside of the Cornish hen, okay? It just adds a little bit of extra flavor. Chicken can be, not too hard to season, but sometimes it just needs that little extra pizzazz. So I'm just putting the garlic salt and the seasoning salt on the inside of the hen. Okay, so let's season these hens up so they can be popping with that flavor. So here we are with the garlic salt, and then of course we're going to add the seasoned salt. You definitely want the seasoned salt and the garlic salt. It's not going to be too salty. That's why we're using 2 saltier seasonings and 2 seasonings that aren't salty, so you have that nice good balance. Okay, so after you put your seasoning salt, then we're going to use smoked paprika. It gives the chicken a nice color, and it's not smoky like barbecue. It just gives it like a little pizzazz. All right, and then we're going to use the cayenne pepper or red pepper seasoning as well. All right, and then after we're done on this side, then we'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. All right, just like that. And then, like I said, just completely repeat the process. You want to make sure that you make sure that the legs are seasoned, the wings are seasoned. Just make sure you have the seasoning all over the chicken. When all that color from the seasoning, your hens are going to be nice and pretty. We're using a Pyrex dish because I think the Pyrex dish just allows the hens to cook nice and tender. They don't cook too fast. We're cooking these hens on 350. A roasting pan is also a good dish to cook your hens in. Alright, so we have them seasoned. We're going to set them to the side, and we're going to start on our onion and our bell pepper. So I'm just going to start with cutting a piece of the bell pepper and go ahead and clean out the little piece of core that's there, and then I'm going to dice the bell pepper into pieces. So this the dices are what we're going to use to season the top of the hen. I like the nice balance between the sauteed vegetables and just regular vegetables stuffed into the hen. So use both, and definitely saute your vegetables that you're going to put on top. It is a difference in flavor. I've tried it both ways, and yeah, I definitely like the vegetables sauteed on top of the hen. All right, so you get them into pretty good sized dices. They don't have to be small because we're just going to put these on top of the hen after we saute them. All right, so after you're done dicing, just set your vegetables to the side, and we're going to start to cut the remainder of the bell pepper up into larger chunks for the inside of the hens. So just cut like this, take the core out, and then I kind of like clean up the inside, the little white pieces of the bell pepper. I just cut them out. To me, the flavor is in the dark portions of the bell pepper. So I just take all that additional part out and just rinse it to get the remaining of the seeds out, and then go ahead and cut it into big chunks like this, and then you just cut it across, and that's really it. Then that bell pepper is good to go. You can set that to the side until we get ready to finish chopping up our onion. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing with the onion. So I just start by cutting the onion pretty much in half. Cutting it in half over here because I like to take the first layer off my onion and then go ahead and give it a rinse, and I don't want that to be mixed up with my surface over here. So I'm going to rinse my onion, and I'm going to rinse my knife before I get ready to chop my onion. Okay, and so just cut it just like so. Once again, not too small, and just cut it across. And you have some nice thick dices, and then you just set that to the side as well. And then of course we're going to use the other half of the onion for our big chunks. It's all going in the same pan, so I just threw everything in the same bowl. Not a big deal. Okay, so now let's get started on the other part of the onion. Just cut that portion off, and then once again, peel the outer layer of the onion. Repeat the same process. Cut it into big chunks, and then you're good to go. And while you're doing this, you can go ahead and heat your oil on the stove. Just don't turn it up too high. So once you're done cutting up your vegetables, you can go ahead and be prepared to go ahead and add them to the pan. All right, so the onion's good to go. Placing our olive oil into the pan. You want to add a good amount so you have enough oil for these vegetables. You don't want them to dry out. It's heated. I'm just going to throw them right into the pan. And of course, these take a few minutes to cook. So just, keep checking on them, turning them periodically until they're done. All right, so while those are sauteing, let's go ahead and stuff these hens with the onion and bell pepper. So you can just pick which one you want to start with. So just take the onion and place it right into the hen, and then follow it with the bell pepper. And you just stuff them until you can't stuff them anymore. Of course, as the hens cook, the vegetables will cook down as well. In order to not be wasteful, I just took the remaining onion and bell pepper and just spread it, spread it like so into the bottom of the Pyrex dish. It just adds flavor to your dish. It's not too much because the hens, as they cook, they'll create like it's like a gravy, I guess you can say, and the onion and the bell pepper really flavors it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and check on our vegetables. They're starting to get a little brown. You don't want them to like cook because they're going to go into the oven. Once they start becoming translucent, they're good to go. I'll just take them, and what I kind of did was just like pick them up with the tongs and spread it across my hens so I didn't disrupt the seasoning on my hens with the residual oil that was in the pan, but you can just pour it right over your hens. I'll just spread it around like so. And then after you're done with that, you want to cover your hens with foil, and then you want to place them in the oven, and you want to cook them on 350 for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Of course, you want to make sure that you check on them about the 45-minute mark just to see how they're going. And when you take them out of the oven, honey, voila, beautiful brown hens. Now, if your hens are not brown enough for you, what you can do is place them back in the oven uncovered for about, 10-15 minutes. Just make sure you check on them. You don't want to cook them to the point that they're dried out. Or you can turn the broiler on for a few minutes. But with the seasoning that we use, these are pretty nice and golden brown. We hope that you enjoyed this recipe. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you next time. Have a happy holiday.